Howdy, folks. I'm Jickles, and this is the Ain't That a Bitch podcast. You can call it Episode 1 because we're beginning Season 2. Two.
It's definitely not just because we just didn't want to record.
Because of our long and unexpected hiatus, we have returned bigger, better, and more better. We're back. And you can also call it Episode 33 because we are going to continue counting these as a continuous stream. But this is Season 2 of the Ain't That a Bitch podcast, which, that's right, we finally did it, folks. We did a second season because we took a long, unexpected break due to several things, mostly laziness, partially COVID. And
COVID would only make it easier.
But one thing that was never expected was, well, we've come back now with...
Speaking of the mic, idiot.
I'm speaking into the mic.
But your voice, you see, because the pop filter is in front of your mouth, right? But then but you're speaking like up, so it's not going through the cool filter thing. I don't know. Jesus Christ, what is this?
I'm not sure what you're saying. Let's make a small adjustment here to appease William.
Thanks.
Who's all upset about it. Nim is complaining.
Weird.
So, okay, admittedly, this is much better. Okay. Look here. We got a new mic. I don't know if you can hear. I don't know if you can tell. Oh, you 100% better be able to tell, but this is mic 2.0. And it's bigger, bluer, and more phallic than ever.
It's so long now. It's incredible.
They say size doesn't matter. Size queens, please get in line. It's a beaut. It's phenomenal. I'm beyond happy with it. I've been playing with the settings so much. This one has got all the toys. It's got the cardioid. It's got the dual cardioid, which is what we're using now so that William can be heard. It's got stereo, which means that a NIMG ASMR video is on the way. Absolutely. And it's got all around. It's also got just what's it called? It's also just got the omnidirectional. So if we ever have another big party podcast, that will work just as well. But now, and it's incredibly sensitive. It picks up. So now all the times when I'm playing with things and William gets upset about it, now you're going to be able to hear what he's upset about too.
Oh, that's great. Can they hear my typing?
Probably.
You have the headphones on. You can tell me if you...
Yeah, I can hear you not participating in the production.
But I'm busy, all right? I'm business. I do business. That's what I do.
You were a businessman doing business.
Businessman doing business, man.
Right. We're back. What's going on? We have things to talk about. Things to say. Our school has been shut down again across Alberta. We've been at home for a few months now since, well, I mean, it linked into our winter break. So Christmas has gone by. We're heading into the new year. I think this should come out with the New Year's. So, new year, new show. It's been a while, but Prolapse has been coming out. You better,
yeah.
And they've been better than ever, I think.
But I mean, the Gingerbread House got like 13 views, so.
Which is really good for us.
But Skyfall got 20 views. So.
There you go. Almost unprecedented. Hentai Drinking Game remains by an enormous margin the most viewed video, which is very disappointing for the people of the world, but good to see for our brand.
Just hope that by that logic, Nicolette should do unbelievably well.
Which should already be out.
Yeah.
I was hoping it would come out Saturday. So if you've already seen that,
drop a like.
God,
on it.
It's so hard.
If it's out and you haven't watched it and you're watching this, then watch it right now. Probably better than this.
Please. The podcast is back in all of its glory, and now William is, for better or for worse, going to be featured more prominently. I don't know how I feel about it. I thought it was a good idea right up until we hit record, and then evidently it turns out that was a bad decision.
Sorry.
Right, so what's been going on? I've been working hard at work on the construction of the Lego Death Star, which I received for Christmas. And it's a work of art. It's beyond. It's indescribably beautiful
And big.
and enormous. We got it knowing it was big, but it blows you away once you actually start constructing it. It's beyond anything I ever could have imagined. I've been having a good time. We're just working on videos.
Apparently, like, what's the average for one bag on that thing? Like
Well,
an hour and a half.
Well, I don't haven't just figured out an average yet, but William put us behind by like an hour and a half.
Man,
Or
it was. Well, you can actually see all that if on the Name G Instagram. So
that's
if you wanna
actually not
go
true.
look
I'm
up-
stopping the recording right now. That's on my personal Instagram, William. What's wrong with you?
Oh,
Just shut the fuck up. Just don't even talk. Get out. Get out. Leave again. It's just me again. I'm turning it onto a single cardioid.
follow. Did
Is
you
this-
actually do it?
Is this cardioid now?
Probably not. You idiot fool, man.
No, it is. Wait. Never mind. I turned it to Omni by accident. Okay, now it's just me. So,
Can they not hear me?
no, they can hear you. It's just you're out of the show.
It's not official. Okay, so they can't hear me typing. I'm
Probably
sorry,
can, just not as loud.
I wouldn't.
It's like you left the room. It's great.
Oh.
Oh, I can also hear myself, by the way. When I
Instant feedback.
Yep. I got my headphones plugged in. I can hear myself. It's just beyond. Everything is just beyond beautiful. But we can't just talk about that forever. What's been going on? Trump's reign of terror has ended. It's not exactly finished yet, but well, legally speaking, it's over.
Yay.
We did it.
Hoorah.
We did put out a video discussing that when it first happened, but it was a discussion, a very serious sit down. We had a mature talk about the matter. I think we helped. I think we informed a lot of people. What was the link?
To the video.
Oh, no, fuck off.
No, I'm doing it. No, you can't stop me. I'll only do iCards if it's at the beginning of the video or at the end, because I'm not going to bother to go through the middle. So you can put up a poll right now. You can do anything at the start of the video. Endless possibilities.
Pog. Was that a thing in the last episode of this?
2 months ago it was, but not to you, because I didn't say it yet.
You didn't introduce me to Pog.
Why do you get so put off whenever I say it then?
What does that have to do with introduce? I knew about it, and then I was like, I hate this. And then you said it, and I was like, I hate you for
But now
saying
you
it.
love it, right?
No.
It's grown on you?
Nope.
Like
Like a fungus.
I was actually going to say something similar.
That's
But it was supposed to be a good thing, because, like, you know, now you're partners forever, right?
no.
Well,
So let's go back in time. I had meant to record another episode of this thing for a long time. Obviously, it's supposed to come out every Sunday, but that didn't happen because of reasons. Again, I'm happy with how things turned out in the end because now we get to make our grand return with this beautiful sound quality.
it's
So
got a pop filter.
we got a pop filter, and so I can go penis. I can go pee pee and poo poo, and that's actually starting to blow it out a little. I need to be a little bit further.
You.
I can go people. Let's just try it without the pop filter, okay? This is how it sounds. Penis. Exactly. Now y'all know what you're being saved from.
I don't know what it is.
It's awful. It sounds terrible. But so now we're not worrying about that. Anyways, good stuff. I think this went the best in the end. However, there's a lot of course, time-sensitive subjects that just really aren't relevant anymore, like the U.S. election. But who gives a shit? We've never cared about that in the past, so we're not going to start now. So let's go back in time to just before school got closed down.
That was a long time ago.
It was not. And
Oh, yours. I thought you meant like.
you haven't been to school. That doesn't mean it was closed down. You could have been going to school.
Yeah, but there was hub learning already, so. To me, school got closed down last year.
I'm quickly realizing that the only service that this episode is going to provide is the beautiful sound quality.
What do you mean?
The content is garbage.
What's wrong with you? How could you say that?
But let's get into our first topic, which is while I was still going to school, I was taking the bus a lot less than I did last year because we didn't want me taking public transit, of course, being on a bus full. First of all, I know I already said this, but the dumbest people in the city are the exact people who also take transit every day. I don't understand it, but everyone who takes transit is the stupidest person I've ever seen.
Do you know that you take transit?
Like I said, stupidest people in the city, and that's really becoming evident with coronavirus because it is always them who are with the bullshit. Like, if you don't want to wear the mask, don't wear it. Then everyone can call you out for being a sack of shit properly. But instead, no, they gotta first they put it on after they're 3 feet into the bus before they're standing in the middle surrounded by everyone who's sitting down. Then they put their mask on, and then they put it on under their nose, right? And then they pull it down so they can cough, right, out into the open air, right? And then they're eating shit. They're always eating stuff on the bus, and they're pulling their mask down to eat. Like, oh my God. There was a little kid, and it was like the mom was wearing the mask, the other kid was wearing the mask, and his little brother was just sitting there munching away. What the hell good are you doing? Like, do you realize how this, does no one understand how any of this works? One kid in your family isn't wearing a mask. What's the point of the rest of you wearing the mask? He had the mask too. It was, the old ear hanger. I mean, Jesus Christ.
At least put it on your forehead. Have some respect.
Right, if you're going to be a dick, be a creative dick. But
Chin in the air looks disgusting.
yeah, the under the chin, you just look like a motherfucker. You look
so terrible.
You look like a real scrub.
Yeah.
All right, sad sack of shit. But regardless, the people on the bus are the worst people in the world. But that's so I wasn't taking the bus as often. And still, on the only 2 or 3 days out of the week when I did take transit, I'm almost convinced, and I've been trying to convince myself I've been trying to avoid this belief for years, but I am at this point almost entirely convinced that I have the worst bus route in the city. I'm almost sure that the 56 is the worst, goddamn slowest, longest, most unreliable bus route in Calgary. It's miserable. I don't know what to tell you, William. So first, it takes forever. Every time I go to the train station to wait for the bus to take me, and a full circuit of the bus takes. Is that the dog? You can let the dog in. Come here, dog. Oh, he's naked. Furries beware. Or wait, no. What do you call them? Zoos? That's your story. See, there's always something to talk about.
No. That's confidential.
No, that's content is what it is.
That is a content.
We'll get to that next, okay?
Content as well. I should have recorded the whole process.
No, we're gonna get to that. But so the full bus route, if I have to wait from the time it leaves to the time it gets back, takes 40 minutes to an hour. And I always thought that was normal until I started waiting for it at the train station where there's several other bus stops, and the goddamn buses are coming every 15 minutes. How is that even possible? I mean, how is it conceivable that they wouldn't just put one more 56 bus on the route? One more. I don't know how many are going at present, but if they just put a singular more 56 bus, that's gotta cut it down to 30 minutes at least. You put one more and it's down to 10. I mean, what? I am so sick. I get to the point where I'm waiting for the 56, and every time a fucking 20 bus or a goddamn 3 comes by, I want to blow it up and with everyone inside of it. You entitled, you happy fucking pricks. That's how you feel about Ben Shapiro? Fair enough. So for all of you out there, the way that you feel whenever you see Ben Shapiro talking about trans rights, that's how I feel every time I see one of these shitting buses, the 20, the 3, the Max Teal, All of them go to hell. The 33.
It sounds like your bus was the problem and not them.
No, they're the ones. They're all too early. They should all take as long as mine. And the people that I see that come and sit, that are waiting for their buses, and they get to go get on their bus in 5 minutes. I saw one guy. Guess this was the worst. I was sitting waiting for the 56 for probably 10 minutes, and a 20 has been sitting there for minutes. I've been just staring at it as it laughs in my face. It gloats and kicks dirt in my eyes. And this guy comes up, gets off the 3, is running up, and the 20 pulls away just as he's arriving, and he wanted to get on the 20. And I go, tough luck, man. You know what it's like, I'm like, hey, we're sitting in misery together, and that's just the way it is. That's, what can't be helped. 15 minutes later, the 56 still doesn't come. Another 20 comes, and he gets on it and drives away. And I'm like, and as he was leaving, the whole time he's sitting there, I'm like, we share him. And as he's driving away, I'm like, fuck you, you bastard. What gives him the right? How has he earned the right just by taking a different bus? The 56, man. What's more?
You've displayed every.
The timing of it seems perfectly scheduled. It's like they work it out. Like in the Maze Runner when they're going, they got their over like all their sketch paper of the maze, and they like layer it over one top of another to figure out like the pattern. It's like they did that with the bus routes, layered them all over, and we're like, okay, if we plan it this way, the moment the kids get off of school at Henry Wisewood, the time it takes for them to walk from the high school to the train station is the exact time when the 56 will leave. And if they take the 3 is perfectly timed so that it arrives exactly when you get off of school. So you can get off of school and immediately get on the 3. And it arrives at the train station perfectly in time as the 56 is leaving. I swear to God, I swear to you, I could walk or take the bus. Every time I arrive at the station, I see the 3 leave. I see the 3 arrive as the 56 leaves. 3 arrives, 56 leaves. It's like synchronicity. It's like one driver gives a nod to the other, goes, it's time. And the 56 is like, I'm out of here. Why would you ever do that? I'm sure it's like it's a time thing, It's like 3 and 2. If you go multiples of 3, multiples of 2, most of them are not going to overlap. And every now and then, one of them, they're going to end exactly the same. 12, 24, other even numbers.
4.
6. What?
What's an even number?
It's not a multiple of 3, though.
What's an even number?
That's not the question. But how could you not be planning these bus schedules and go, hey, why don't we make sure that 2 buses at the same station don't arrive and leave without giving the people enough time to get off of one bus and get on the other? And everyone at the station is always waiting for the 56. Everyone who gets off a bus and goes to a station is always waiting for the 56. But somehow they always arrive later than me, so they're never waiting as long as me. The 56 sucks. The 56 is the worst.
Is 56 one of those times when 3 and 2 overlap?
I don't know. It's 7 times 8.
What does that mean?
7 times 8 is 56. You can figure it out. 56. It's a multiple of 2. It's not a multiple of 3.
Well, I tried.
57 is a multiple of 3. Add the numbers together, and if the sum is a multiple of 3, then the number is a multiple of 3. 5 plus 6 is 11, which is a multiple of 3. William's also been struggling with basic math for, I guess, the entirety of quarantine. I guess ever since he stopped going to school in person.
Yeah.
He stopped learning math.
But at least.
But you know what? No, I'm not done with the 56 yet, because guess what else? The fucking drivers are on break every other bus. I've never seen a bus be off duty more than the 56. I swear to God, every other one that comes, pulls in, lets off his passengers, immediately goes out of service and drives the fuck off. This is bizarre, and this is one that just befuddles me. It's like, I'm like, is there a different 56 route that I'm not aware of? Does 56 have more than one route, or are they just trying to fuck with us?
Well, I've been hearing a lot about this Bill Gates guy, and I think you might want to look into it.
I've been seeing, I will see sometimes, and of course it's exactly when I get to the station. I arrive at the train station, 56 is leaving right as I get there. So I'm waiting for the next one, and the next 56 that comes, like 1 in 5 times, the next one that arrives doesn't turn into the bend where its stop is. It just goes right on through and gets out. It just keeps, like, the way the train station works is you drive in, and then there's a loop, a circle, where there's just like stops, bus stops all around it. And so some stop at one end, some stop at the other. And so some of them turn around and go back, because you go from one train station to the other, turn around, back to that train, turn around. So they got to be able to 180. It just pulls right through. It just keeps going. What is happening? Is it out of service? Because if those are off-duty 56s that are on break, first of all, fuck you. No, that's not right. Aren't they supposed to just wait there and have their break, and they come back and then pick you up? They don't just leave and you have to take the next one. I swear to God, I see it in the back. I see the numbers 56 as it's going by. I'm like, where are you going? Come back.
You should buy a flare gun. I heard it's actually legal.
In Canada?
I haven't researched that part, but I know it's legal in Texas, and that counts for something.
Everything's legal in Texas.
Except for
gay marriage.
Yeah, I get it.
I guess that's the only one. But
That's the only one.
Everything's legal in Texas except for gay marriage. But oh God, it's so infuriating. And what's more, even the ones that do take their break and like do come and pick you up, the motherfuckers, like, they sit. They don't have the decency to pull up close to where their stop is and take their break and sit on their asses and eat their fucking sandwich. They got to stop all the way at the other end of the station with their doors closed. The fuckers couldn't even have the decency to let us get on the bus that we're supposed to be taking eventually. You know, maybe keep warm or something. It's the taking the 56 is the worst experience.
But you have jackets.
And it's gotten worse. William,
the bus doesn't even have a jacket.
It's made out of metal.
Metal gets colder than flesh.
But it's protected from lightning strikes. Yeah, I got you there, don't I?
Yeah, I guess so.
And it's somehow gotten worse. I don't know how. But last year it was not this bad. When I was taking the bus every day, it was not nearly this bad. In fact, it's almost like the route has gotten... I swear the time between buses is taking longer, because taking the bus early used to be a great thing. I used to have this... The timing of when it arrives at school is incredible, because I used to have to take the bus really early in the morning for band twice a week. I had to do it for a music class and for a band rehearsal. And those days were actually comforting to take the bus, because I knew if I missed... There was one that I was meant to take, and if I missed that one, usually because there's so few people taking the bus in the morning, I actually have a grace period of 2 entire bus routes that will both get me to school on time. Like, they're 25 minutes, barely half an hour apart. So I'll just barely be on time if I take the second one. But I don't have to take that first bus. So oftentimes I would miss it, and the next one is just fine. Now, even in the early mornings when I have to take the bus, because that's the one where I have to take the bus, because my parents couldn't get up and drive me, of course. And so even though my dad's working from home now, he still can't get up. To be fair, sometimes his classes do overlap with my lessons. But now, if I to get to school on time, I have to arrive like 20 minutes early. Drive either 20 minutes early, or I'm going to be like 5 minutes late. Like, the timing has not only gotten worse, but like so much worse. And this is, again, the early morning. No one's taking the bus. But now, like, the bus that I have to catch is going to make me so early. But the next bus is going to make me so late. Like I said 5 minutes late. I was talking about normal school. No, this was supposed to be about the band thing. I missed the bus. I think I caught the bus once, maybe twice in this semester. I actually got the bus for the early band rehearsal. Like, props to Fink Minor. He didn't even bother questioning it. He was just accepting that I even arrived at all. But I would arrive halfway through the class. I think the class was like an hour and a half. I would arrive, half an hour late. Half an hour late if I missed the bus. But if I got the bus I was supposed to take, I would be fucking 15 minutes early. Do you know how that means there's a 45-minute gap between those 45-minute wait between the bus that no one's taking because it's not even daybreak. Okay, we're arriving at 7 a.m. What? How do they do it? Just put another bus on the route. Just put one more. Like, or make them go. It's so mind-bogglingly infuriating that I used to have 2 entire bus routes of on-time arrival. Now I have less than 1. There's 1 bus route that makes me early, 1 that makes me extremely late. How is that even possible? It's so late. It's such a huge time gap between 2 buses. It's infuriating. One time, the worst thing that happened was I get up. Like, I don't know how to tell you how early I have to get up to actually catch this bus. And one time I get up and it's like 5 minutes before the bus is scheduled to get there. And I'm like, all right, we're doing this. Race up. I do all my bathroom shit. I go up. I grab breakfast. Like, I just grab a couple slices of toast. I take them out the door. No. Even better. We had those mini cinnamon rolls at the time. I just grabbed literally a handful of them, shoved them in. I put 1 in my mouth and put 2 more in my pocket. I'm like, this is going to be my breakfast. And I get all my shit on, run out the door. I sprint. I haul absolute ass. And I see the bus arriving at the station. I made it. I'm running across the icy sidewalk. I'm like, at any moment I could faceplant, eat shit. But I make it. The bus door opens. I'm like, yes. Like Rocky, he's stopping for me. And then I slow down as I arrive. And I go, I'm not wearing my mask. I forgot my mask. And I reach into my pockets. I'm digging around my pockets knowing, damn, I know full well there's no mask in there. But the bus driver's looking at me and I'm like, oh, where's my mask? I could have sworn I had. And I turn around and that's his sign. He closes his door, drives off. And I go, what am I to do? What am I supposed to do? I hate taking the bus.
Well, you don't have to anymore.
I have to do it anymore. Oh. That's gonna sound bad.
You heard it already.
That's true. Bad.
No. We can censor it if you want.
Fuck it. So that was what I was dealing with. I got to get angry. I got to get furious all over again. To call back.
Stupid episode title.
Yeah, thanks to I'm glad we got out of the Aiden age of episode titles. You know they can hear that. I'm just messing with the arm.
Take it off too.
No, actually.
Maybe you should just, really? Aha!
That's incredible. I threw one of those tiny little, like, what are those called? Like alligator clip? Yeah, I threw like a little alligator clip.
Person, I think they look more like a Republic gunship. So.
They do look like a gunship, but I threw one of those alligator clips, like one of those really miniature ones at William, and nailed him in the collarbone and went down his shirt. It's incredible. Oh man. But the holidays have been good. Not good for like recording and productivity, but you know, whatever. William, what have you been up to?
I got back Bakugan.
William's gotten into. William is kind of a piece of shit.
So
William's got this thing where he will get onto something. He'll get into it. He'll have it
like
surface. Yeah, William hops onto the bandwagons that no one else is on. Right. William hops onto the hype train that, again, no one else is on.
Like the icebox part that they're in Frosty.
So William gets into these things, and he's so into it. He's reading all this shit about it. He wants to do everything to do with it for a month, and then he abandons it.
No. This time
this time it's different. No, but we're not there yet, because first it was Power Rangers. William somehow remembered, Power Rangers. I love it all of a sudden. I don't know why. I have no idea why, but he got way into Power Rangers.
Because the game was on Game Pass.
Okay, that's true. Okay.
Like, they made a video game for Power Rangers, and I played it, and I remembered how much I loved all these incredible,
fair enough,
well-written characters.
Yeah, all these great, well-written characters.
From good to bad. and so I just had to get back into it. And so we watched Mighty Morphin, and then I remembered it wasn't actually a good show.
You remembered that it's for 5-year-olds.
Yeah.
For some reason, the Mighty Morphin... for some reason, the Power Rangers, like, Mortal Kombat style Street Fighter fighting game, Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, is far better than it has any business being. All of the drop-down little side things about Power Rangers are way better than the show itself. I don't really get it. I mean, other than the fact that I guess the kids who grew up watching it are adults now, and so they're making, like, comics and video games that are like for those adult audiences, so they actually make them good. But it's one of the most bizarre, and it's this world that, thank you, William, for introducing me to it, where everything that comes after the original, everything other than the source material is so much better than that original source material. But William got this idea that, I really like Power Rangers, we should go and watch Power Rangers, and God, for some reason God said we're going to indulge in this. And so William looked for Power Rangers on Netflix and found Power Rangers, he came looking for copper. He found platinum. Every single Power Rangers series ever created
watch them all eventually.
Is on Netflix. Every one of them. Everyone. I don't think anyone else on the planet is aware of this, because kids are too stupid to use the search function. And no one else is going to be bothering looking for Power Rangers on Netflix. They're all there.
There's too many for the search results thing. When you search it up, it doesn't show all of them.
From what, 95?
Yeah.
From 1995, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers ran for 6 years?
Well, that includes Alien and Xenosaur.
Until what's the newest one? Beast Morphers?
Yeah, that's the new one.
2020, right? Or 2019? That's how many years of Power Rangers? And
I guess they're doing a Super Beast Morpher.
A series every 2 years, right?
Every year.
And they call them seasons.
Yeah.
They call them seasons.
Well, the big crossover event to show that they were all connected, what kind of sucked. What was it called? The Mega Force or something?
The Super Mega Force?
What a bad name.
It's Power Rangers. That's exactly what's to be expected. I just don't get how people can take it so seriously.
Yeah, man, I loved the Super Mega Force when we all got together, and then they became different Rangers, which all have the same power, so there was not really.
They're all the same. Dude.
Except for Dino Thunder and Jungle Fury. Those are probably the best seasons. I'll be honest.
It's the only ones we've watched.
Yeah,
other than Samurai.
They're actually
and Mighty Morphin.
Interesting.
Well, they are the best, but we're not. It's not really our place to say.
We started watching Mystic Force.
Look, it's outrageous that the universe has decided to side with William on this one. So he got this idea in his head that we were gonna watch every single Power Rangers.
It would be.
Everyone. Again, William, evidently you just weren't remembering that it was for 8-year-olds at oldest. If you're older than 10 watching Power Rangers, you can't enjoy it. I'm not going to judge older kids for watching Power Rangers. God knows. I'm fucking one of them. But you can't enjoy it.
And it was good.
It's like...
Tommy was great.
There's one good character in the entire 60 episodes.
Yeah, and he is.
No, sorry, isn't it 120 episodes? Wasn't it 2 50-episode seasons plus like a shorter season? To be fair, the rest of them are like 160.
Yeah, the rest ones are so much shorter and they're all better.
Like one season of what, 30 episodes, 40 episodes?
Yeah.
Maybe 50 at most. One season. This is like this is like 3 seasons. But still, so we started with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the original one, and it's just the dumbest shit.
Dude, I love the viewing order.
I mean, it was okay. We got some enjoyment out of it, and we're doing it. Like this is, and to be fair, this is why I'm complaining. Williams got us on this, and immediately,
You wanted to?
halfway. No, I don't want to do it, but I'm going. Halfway through the first season, he's like, maybe we shouldn't. I go, no, William, you gotta finish what you start. Right?
I was thinking maybe we could just skip to like a good season.
Yeah, and I'm like,
really sucks.
and I was saying, no, that's not how you get to do this. You said we're gonna watch all of these. We already watched half a season of trash. We're gonna watch the whole goddamn 2.5 seasons of trash.
But that was before we got to Tommy, alright?
Yeah, Tommy.
I knew how incredible he would have been.
Tommy Oliver, the Green Ranger, the one through composed good character of the entire Power.
Love that.
And people get onto that. I think people realize this, but at the same time ignore it. The fact that now we're in Power Rangers communities. By the way, this isn't it. Now we're on the subreddits and we're looking at forums. It's
the Rule 34 page.
This is a crippling addiction. But now I'm seeing these people and I'm starting to realize, like, I think people are aware of this. The Green Ranger is the only character that can be used as an adult. Like, if you're an adult and you're like talking about any of the original 5 Power Rangers, it's like you're talking about just children's things. There's nothing. Their characters have no depth. They're not interesting. They sure as hell aren't cool.
Oh, Billy.
Okay, Billy the Blue Ranger is hilarious, but he also sucks. God, I don't know. They're archetypes for the nerd. But let's just talk about this for a second. So we have, like I said, managed to find amusement in this. It's not. It's kind of like an MST3K kind of thing. We watch it and we keep saying by putting it on in the background, and occasionally we'll look up and see something absolutely idiotic.
The Wild West Rangers, whatever, was amazing.
There's I think how many 4 or 5 episodes where evil versions of the Power Rangers, either an evil version of the Power Rangers is created or a good Power Rangers turn bad. I think at least 5 times that happened. If you count Tommy, that's probably 6.
And every single time.
Every time they're so surprised.
And it's always Billy.
And they always turn Billy bad.
The Blue Ranger, by the way, for those of you who don't know.
And the actors, man, the acting and Billy is like.
No, he's a good actor. What did he acts so
Yeah, the when he turns bad, like the way that he acts. What was it he said?
What?
Pasta la pizza.
I completely forgot.
You remember?
That incredible line.
And then this was like the 5th time that the Power Rangers have been turned evil. No. Okay, yeah, by the way, the last episode was Evil Rangers, right?
Yeah, the last episode.
And you think, oh, that's the big finale. But it's already been done 4 times.
It happened in 2 episodes in a row.
This is the last episode of the entire Mighty Morphin series, and they're like, what's happening to the Power Rangers? And Zordon's like, I'm a 1,000 IQ genius who figured this one out. Is Zed at this point? Zed has turned the Power Rangers from good to bad.
They turn from good to bad.
It turned them from good to bad. Yeah, not to mention, the villain didn't get good until the 2nd season. So Rita's a piece of shit. I mean,
and I like the dog guy, but I don't like the blue guy.
yeah, Fester is funny, but Jesus Christ, what are their names? Like the Babu and whatever are the most annoying things on the planet.
I'm glad that Zed hates him. And then Rito Revolt.
They're not funny for a second. Rito is hilarious. He's also not Rita's brother because his last name is different. They were like, let's have Rita Revolta have a brother, and it's gonna be funny. We're gonna change the A to an O to make it masculine. So from Rita to Rito, and then they changed the last name from Revolta to Revolto. So they're not related anymore. Oh, sorry, yeah.
Rita Revolto.
What the hell? It's not even close. So it's not even close. Rita Repulsa to Rita Revolto.
Rita. I don't know, man.
And yeah, Rita was a shitty villain. She was just this ugly Japanese witch
And then I forgot
whose voice was dubbed awfully.
Remember?
She transformed?
She turned beautiful for it's because Zen was American. Okay. Here's the thing. So they were using super.
Yeah, okay, this is the entire I don't understand how this series exists. How does Power Rangers exist as a series? So if for those of you, who aren't fully aware of this landmark in our culture.
The Yellow Ranger was originally a man.
William told me that every time Yellow Ranger was on screen.
Because it's shocking.
So, the way Power Rangers created is it's a Super Sentai series made in Japan, like all terrible things, that in America, the American company Bandai was like, we're going to make this. They saw Power Rangers like, this could take off in America, but instead of just adapting it like they do with, instead of just taking it like they do with anime or whatever, they're like, no, we're going to make an entirely new show. And you're like, okay, you make an entirely new show, but using like the same characters, same ideas, right? No, they're going in and using the same combat footage and like the Zord footage and nothing else.
There must have been so much more.
It would be easier to just make the whole show. The only reason they wouldn't do it is because it was made in the 90s when it was impossible for white people to do karate.
Yeah.
White people couldn't do martial arts except Chuck Norris, and so they had to get the Japanese. I swear that must have been it. It was somehow easy.
Nothing else they're missing.
I mean, this is
had their own versions of all the monsters because they had them appear with the Power Rangers when they were out of suit. So they had their own costumes for each of the monsters, which looked significantly worse. But they had them already, and they just still used the Sentai footage.
And the ability to edit video was not very advanced at the time. It must have been to take those fight scenes and stick them in without having any of the live action stuff. Part of me liked to think that they didn't actually know the plot of any of the episodes. And I think they did change a lot of the plot. It's insane. But part of me likes to think that they didn't actually know the original plot. And so they just watched the fight scenes and went, I wonder what's happening here. Because it's such a generic story, right? And of course, all the story is told through the live action part, or, the part where you can see the American actors. And so they made up the high school. They made up the whole Zordon thing. I don't think Zordon's even a part of the Japanese version. I haven't the slightest clue what the Japanese thing is. And it's not popular. Live action Japanese stuff isn't popular in general, except Ultraman, I guess. Anime is huge there. Everything they watch is animated. They had Ultraman, which is big, but got bigger in China than it did in Japan. And then, their Super Sentai, no one talks about Super Sentai. But Power Rangers is huge. They're still making it. And the only way people know about it is through the Power Rangers version.
Which I'm assuming is worse, because if it's not, then it's just...
And apparently, Power Rangers continues to this day to use Super Sentai footage. William keeps telling me this. I don't believe it. But that's crazy. That's got to be so much more trouble at this point. They're using, old series. It's
the newest one, Beast
mind-boggling.
A really, really old...
How are they going to use the footage? Are they really going to, remaster the footage? That's so much trouble.
A lot of people were really happy about it, because they're like, I always wanted to see this one adapted.
But it's
They never would, because they look cool and stuff.
But how is it worth it? They could just adapt it, but make it, they're remaking the suits anyways. They have their own versions of the suits that they wear when they take their helmets off.
The Green Ranger suits look so bad. The American version,
it's made out of foam. It's like a Halloween costume. Exactly.
And then when it switches to the Japanese, it's so cool.
It looks like its arm. What the hell? We also watched so just so that we know that the story is completely different. We watched the side-by-side clip someone made on YouTube of the Green Ranger's introduction in the American version and in the Japanese version. In the Japanese, it's this old man.
Yeah, he's the president or something.
The president.
Prime Minister. He was an important figure.
The Green Ranger is the Prime Minister of Japan?
Yes, I'm like...
I thought he was just some old master who's like, because he was asleep on a rock, and he wakes up and bursts out into the Green Ranger. And they bothered to rewrite a script entirely different than that, about a teenage boy who was evil, who was created by Rita to be evil and then turns good, which I guess was the Green Ranger. I guess the Green Ranger was bad in the Japanese at some point.
Yeah.
So they kept that, but
They're like, oh, a bad ranger, that's cool.
but making him a teenager in a high school, they wrote all that in a way that would work with the footage. That's got to be so much more trouble than just making up their own story entirely and just taking the costume designs and the monster designs. And like, of all the things that they made their own, they did, again, the whole high school was invented, all the American actors, and Zord. They invented Zordon and Alpha 5. But then they still used Rita, the one person who's live, who you see the face of, and they just kept the Japanese woman and matched up and terribly synced words in English to it. Awful overdubbing. Like,
and now that eventually they decided that they wanted to go their own way, stop doing the.
did they invent Zed?
They created Lord Zed because they I guess they decided they didn't like the old.
Which is so much better than Rita. Like, they could have just done that from the
Their
start.
weird idea
Of Rita.
Because how are they gonna put Rita and Zed?
Oh, right.
the same
Rita and Zed can't be
place?
together.
Because
So they
Rita's-
kept using
so
Rita.
They made Rita want to marry Zed, so she took a potion to make her beautiful, which in this case meant
Becoming American. She became beautiful, aka white.
and then she met Zed
And then finally
that's
she
his
and then
history.
yeah, the history is they got tired of that. That got real old real quick, so they kicked her to a moon.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah, and then they had
well, no, she was always operating. That's another thing I didn't get. Rita operates from the moon.
yeah, she's on the moon.
No, he put her on an asteroid or something. And then he kept running things with her like right-hand man Goldar, who got wings.
And Goldar looks so weird.
No, but didn't he look great when they gave him wings?
I know.
The second in the second season, the American version looks better than the Sentai, right?
And then
And in the first, everything looks worse.
first one it's worse.
It's like, why couldn't they just have done it better
And
from the
third
start?
one, the third one is full American, and it's pretty cool. They introduced Rito, and he's cool.
It's not cool. Is not the word.
It's so cool.
I don't
they
know.
went back to Sentai for Zeo.
They got like 3 new Zords as well.
They did because they wanted to.
They kept changing Zords.
The new, and they just blew everything up.
Their Zords exploded.
And then they lost like 3 of the actors for some reason.
All the actors were like sick of it and quit. I don't know.
And the Pink Ranger
So-
was replaced with a cat.
They
called
all got written out.
PEC, which stood for Park Cat, because they found it in a park. And then Tommy marries the cat, and they have children together.
Wait. That's not true. Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Is it really?
Yeah, after.
Wait, I knew Tommy got with the Pink Ranger. I thought he was with the what's her name?
It starts with a K.
Yeah, Kimberly. I thought he was with Kimberly.
Yeah, but then she left, and then he got with Park Cat.
She never comes back.
No, she doesn't.
What's the deal? And what's the deal with Kimberly? Like, people, that's the other thing. So we first were reintroduced to this by playing the game, and in the game, it's like following the plot of this comic series called Shattered Grid, which again is way cooler and more mature than anything that has ever come out of actual Power Rangers. It's like fan fiction that's somehow better than the original source material.
What do you mean somehow?
Stop.
Have you seen?
No. It's actually better. Like, this would make a better show. This would make a great movie.
I'm telling you, the fake Grand Order Dojins are so much better than that part of the show.
Better plot or better art?
Everything, man.
Right.
There's nothing in the show, right?
Well, regardless, so this game is like a fighting game, and it's got, obviously they can't have every single Power Rangers in it, even though they show up in some group shots. But the ones you play as are like fan favorites. So, and we've seen this again across other media. So of course, Green Ranger Tommy Oliver is in it, and there's also this evil version of the Green Ranger, or I guess a mix of the Green and White Ranger, because the Green Ranger becomes the White Ranger, as Lord Drekken, which is the creation of the Shattered Grid comic, who's, again, an alternate universe Tommy who's evil. Very cool.
He's amazing.
Not even going to pretend like he isn't.
Incredible.
But
He kills everyone.
And so everyone else is just a character from random Power Rangers. So like there's and for some reason Kimberly, the Pink Ranger from Mighty Morphin, always shows up.
There's two of her.
There's a White Ranger from like Mystic Force who always shows up in these things. Like there's another game that we found. And so evidently she's really popular, which I guess makes sense. And who else is always do they always get? Oh, what's his face? The main villain from Jungle Fury, because I think that's Daishi, which is I guess that's understandable because it's one of the few Power Rangers where the villain is also a Power Ranger.
That's true.
So that makes sense. But so you always see Daishi, you always see Ursula. What's her name?
I don't know.
Ursa.
Ursa, something like that.
And for some you always get Pink Ranger Kimberly. So we played that game and then William convinced me to watch the show. And I was like, well, I know Tommy's a big deal. Again, like I get the Green Ranger's the only big and cool thing in all of Power Rangers, and so they keep using him. I mean, and kudos to the actor. What's his name?
His actual name is like
Isn't his actual name like the Red Ranger? Jason something.
Yeah.
What kudos to him for completely he enjoys the role, and he comes back every time. He was in the goddamn movie.
Always has to put some because he has tattoos on his arm. So every time he does, he has to
Cover them up to be kid friendly.
To be a child.
They got him in Dragon Dino Thunder, but like
yeah, he's a main character in that. That's so cool.
so he's always showing up and stuff. Like okay, makes sense. Yeah, I know. It's just the Green Ranger's back, and he's always showing up. So we got the idea. Green Ranger is cool, or Tommy Oliver is cool as White Tiger Ranger is awesome.
It looks.
Yeah, they actually they made it look so good. Why do they keep using the Sentai? It's laziness, but I swear to God, it must be harder. But I guess it's not.
Every American thing they add is always so much
way cooler.
Adults
would.
Is so much cooler. The Draken is so much cooler.
Dude, teens would enjoy. Well, Draken isn't even.
Yeah,
is Draken? Draken's not even canon. Yeah, it's an American creator. Like, teens would enjoy Power Rangers if it was all American made, targeted at kids and teens. If they just wanted to make, like, I swear they would expand their audience by so much. It's so bizarre. In watching the show, we've only gotten more questions. But like we knew Tommy was a big deal for a reason, and so I saw like, oh, Kimberly's always showing up. People are a fan of her. She must be like the best of those original 5 Power Rangers, I guess. Got the best character, something that people like. I don't know. It's a weird culture already. She's just as dumb as any of the rest of them. Like her character's just as two-dimensional as all of them. It's like she's the acrobatics one. Tina, the Yellow Ranger, is the Asian one. Jason is the sporty guy, blonde guy, or like the sporty. Brown hair, blue eyes. Every single red Power Ranger has brown hair and blue eyes.
Except for the whatever, Lost Galaxy or something. He's like, yeah. And I think in SPD he's black.
Whoa.
He's Jamaican. It's crazy.
He's just making me crazy.
Yeah.
Blue Ranger is
He's scared of heights.
Classic nerd who's scared of everything, and Black Ranger is the token black guy. It's like
until
they switch it up, and then the Black Ranger is the Asian,
and the Yellow Ranger is the
black girl
person, skin colored person,
POC. And then so the entire cast gets rotated out, even including the Red Ranger, who I think the original actor comes back in the next fucking series, right, as a different Power Ranger.
As the Gold Ranger.
But it's the original actor, right? Jason comes back. But they changed all the characters to the point where we didn't even realize this until we got to the end of the series, and we were like, only fucking Billy and Tommy are the only original left. And Tommy wasn't one of the original to begin with, so it's just the Blue Ranger. He's got a whole new cast of people he barely knows, as opposed to his teenage friends that he's been friends with for presumably all his school life. I mean,
they all went to like France or something for peace conference.
They went to I'm pretty sure Geneva for like Switzerland.
Oh, Switzerland.
Everyone goes to Switzerland for like a peace conference, and apparently didn't ever come back again.
Return, except for the Red Ranger.
Well, do they come back? Do they come back in Zeo?
I don't think so.
Do they really use the new cast for everything? Only how does Jason come back? How is any of this going to turn out?
I mean, we We have to watch it, I guess.
We finished Mighty Morphin and we were like drained, but we're going back. I mean, we're gonna get back into it. But God, that show is so full of the dumbest stuff. Like every time they ever had trouble, we would always make fun of it. Zordon would go to the Rangers and go, "View the observe the viewing orb." They would change it up. Exactly. That's why we would try to predict what way they were gonna say it. It might be observe the viewing globe, or behold the seeing orb, or like it'd be little different adjectives every time.
Just have a big ball that shows them whatever.
There's a big ball that shows them whatever it's convenient for them to see, but they can't see anything that they're not allowed to see. They can never see Green Ranger sneaking around, but they can fucking see Rita on the moon.
Oh, I forgot about that. When Green Ranger is introduced, he just...
Oh yeah, Green Ranger immediately comes in. He kills Zordon, kills Alpha, kills everyone. How do they even beat him?
I don't remember.
They punch him.
Oh yeah, and then they find the, what's the guy? The, Brachiosaurus thing.
They find the Brachiosaurus to work together.
So
And it dies. A powerful he will be a useful ally.
He was like the villain because they had to go kill him to complete a quest. They had to find
They had to follow a map. They don't remember the episode? Yeah. No, and remember the episode where it was showing Jason the Red Ranger had to learn teamwork with Tommy the Green Ranger. So the leader had to work with so the Green Ranger became the new leader, and of course Red Guy's gonna be salty. Someone shows up out of the blue and is more powerful than him. And they're fighting with each other. So Zordon's like, we're gonna send you on a team building exercise. Here's like this treasure map with the fucking big red X on it, and you each have like half the map or something. So you gotta work together to get a the mirror helped them actually defeat the enemy. Like that was, but the fucking best thing is they're following this treasure map to this ancient buried Zord object of power. Like from Zordon's time, this ancient alien race that landed on Earth or whatever it is, and they never leave Angel Grove. Like they don't have to fly across the planet. Apparently, this powerful Zord is just buried in the desert outside of Angel Grove, which I assume Angel Grove is in California or something. Like they went on a treasure hunt to the suburbs. Like they just left the city limits.
They found a big Brachiosaurus mech. And they had to work together by... Tommy has, like, a shield on him that he had to give to the Red Ranger so that the Red Ranger could, like, take the hits while Green Ranger could go up and kill the Zord. But that means that Red Ranger has nothing because it's supposedly the Green Ranger has the attack and Red Ranger has the defense. But the Green Ranger gave the defense to the Red Ranger. Green Ranger could have just done it on his own.
Of course he could have. He's the only one who's competent. And guess what? How they keep him out of every fight. He never fights the monsters. He's always off jacking himself off every single episode. He's fucking playing with his katana or something. Or training or whatever. And he always gets ambushed by the putties, the useless, worthless minions.
It's really is like how you explain how you got like a black eye to your friends. I was walking to school and I was ambushed by 10 ninjas and I beat 9 of them easily, but the 10th one snuck up on me and punched me in the face and then I killed him afterwards. That's Tommy. He beats up all the putties except for one, which sneaks up behind him and grabs him and then knocks him out and then he gets kidnapped and then they have to save him.
Every single time, they never let him even... Because the writers know he would annihilate the main villain every single episode. And so they don't even let them meet. And guess what? Also, another thing that happened 2 times, Goldar, the flying monkey from The Wizard of Oz, who wears all gold, has a big golden sword. He's had 2 times. He's had Jason, the Red Ranger, without his suit, no powers... locked in a room in Rita's palace with mist all over the floor, and he comes in with his big sword. 2 times he's failed to kill that motherfucker. It was the exact same scene, I swear.
Tommy comes and saves him the second time, it's the Black Ranger's time.
But I promise you,
Zach was so cool. He was teaching like the kids like a...
Yeah, the Zach. Every time you hear the hip hop music start playing, you know Zach was gonna walk on set. It was like,
great.
And everyone else wore their color, solid color, and he always had his he had his multicolored shirt.
Because his face is already black.
I hate that you're probably right. I hate that you're probably following the thought process perfectly. Yeah. Oh yeah. Also Zach. So Zach, the one who taught, what was it? His dance karate. What do you call it?
It was like jujitsu, but with
Zoo
zoo.
boogie.
It was a really stupid
Remember the like second episode of Power Rangers called Gung Ho, where the token Asian Yellow Ranger explains how Gung Ho is Chinese for work together, and William and I watched that and we looked at each other like I've heard Gung Ho and always assumed it was just like some weird Western amalgamation of, or like some weird Western interpretation of an Eastern expression. But like they said it with such confidence. They got an Asian person to come, presumably Chinese person, to come on and be like, and say to children across America that gung ho is Chinese for work together. I was like, is it? I was almost convinced. I turned to my mom, who's Chinese, and I'm like, hey mom, what does gung ho mean? He's like, what do you mean? That's like, is it Chinese? Is that Chinese? And she's like, no, that's just an English expression. I'm like, yeah, it is, right? They taught an entire generation of Americans that gung ho is a Chinese expression and that it meant work together, which it doesn't.
That's not even what it means in English.
It's not even what it means in English. They use the expression wrong entirely. What the fuck?
But it's at least they had a teamwork episode.
How did they convince that Chinese woman to say that? Was she so whitewashed she didn't even know? It's so bizarre. They could have easily just had an episode like, hey, you need to learn teamwork. Instead, they were like, let's get all culturally diverse. Have the Chinese person misappropriate their own language. They had to get the fucking Chinese. You need to learn how to That's so wrong. If you know what gung ho actually is, which is just like when you say someone's really intense or really into something, he was really gung ho about his job. He works constantly and takes everything super seriously. Always goes above and beyond. It doesn't work together. Like,
it's never been what that meant.
If I were to go up to someone and be like, you need to gung ho, they'd be like, what the fuck? That's just grammatically incorrect. If you wrote that on an essay, you'd lose marks.
Oh, that'd be great, actually.
They had an actor say that. They paid someone to say that. Tell people to gung ho. It would confuse them so much. It's a weird show, and we're gonna watch like 14 more seasons of it. Probably 20.
And the numbers just growing, man.
They're still making them. I really thought they stopped. I thought Megaforce was the end.
Was delayed due to COVID. So thank God. I heard it's actually good.
Gives us time to catch up.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus Christ.
Remember when we said we were gonna catch up in Christmas break?
I don't ever want to catch up.
We'll catch up next summer.
I'm gonna be watching Mandalorian soon. Sean, in a very weird, twisty move, I've never had anything against Sean. He's always been a nice person, but when he just came to me, he was like, hey, you want to watch Mandalorian? I assume you're not going to be getting Disney Plus, right? I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, if you want to watch The Mandalorian, I can pirate it. And I was like, pirate sites. That's actually, the first thing he said was just like, yeah, well, we want to watch The Mandalorian. We're going to be getting off of a pirate site. And I'm like, yeah, there's definitely ways to do that for sure. And then like the next day I go and see him again. This is, of course, when we're still in school. And he's like, hey, so do you want me to hit you up with some Mandalorian? I'm like, what? What do you mean? Like, it was like, it felt unnervingly similar to like a drug dealer giving you that first hit for free. I'm like, okay, where's the catch? So you're going to give me season 1, and for season 2, it's going to be like $20 an episode, right?
And then he stole Heather's from the USB. I swear, that must be what he was after. my bootleg of
I gave him my USB stick. I made a mistake. I forgot to bring it on the day that I was supposed to, so I ended up giving it to him on the last day that school is open. So he actually had to come and deliver it to me later, but it worked as a great Christmas gift. It's there. I got it and I was like, this is some virus, right? He's just giving. For part of me was like, when I was like telling my parents, I was like, oh yeah, this is something that everyone can watch. I was like, part of me was like, what if it's just filled with hentai? What if he just he was being like, oh, have fun with that when
he did say that. He came
I was
out
like,
the door and it was in an envelope.
I was like, this is totally porn or something.
So
it's either a virus or porn or both, and that's the joke, right? No, without a doubt. I'm gonna open the thing. It says Mandalorian season 1, episode 1. I open it up and it's a hentai. It's like a tentacle hentai, and it was,
Man.
and then it's all of them, and also the thing was like it's like 4K or like 1080p, and I was like, okay, and I clicked on it, and it's the full episode in 1080p. Sean, what did you do? I know he was telling me about the pirate site, but still, I was thinking like Pirates Bay and stuff. I actually have never been on Pirates Bay. But like usually when you pirate something, kind of the given factor is that it's going to be like someone's camcorder recording their own television or the movie theater, right? And I'm willing to accept that. When I want to pirate something, it's probably because I don't care about it enough to get good quality. Where on earth, Sean, did you just find perfect quality? That's better quality than I watch YouTube videos in, because it runs down because our Wi-Fi is too slow for it. What did you do? This is drugs. This is 100% drugs. A time's gonna come around when he gets in trouble with a drug dealer or a gang or something, and he's gonna be like, "Hey Charles, remember when I gave you the Mandalorian season? Not only season 1, he gave me season 2 too, because we waited till it was out, which means he was getting these episodes like a week after they came out." And I was like, or the day they came out. I don't know.
Maybe it was a curse.
Maybe he was the pirater. What if Sean's the pirate? Oh, like
to like pass it on to someone else willingly.
yeah, it's like. Oh, like It Follows, or like the Pirates of the Caribbean treasure?
Yeah.
Want someone else to get the curse. It's been bizarre, man. I don't trust it one bit. I think we are cursed, probably.
I get that everybody has to wear a mask because of coronavirus, but he just showed up at the door in a mask with an envelope. It was very scary looking.
Yeah, what? And he left without a word.
He no, he did have a word. He said, "Have fun with that."
That's true. I know. Have fun with that. Merry Christmas. I didn't have any words. I didn't know what to say.
Scary.
Sean, I mean, thank you, but you scare me. Haven't interacted with Sean really since or before, to be honest. We have not talked a whole lot. But I appreciate it. I don't know. But what else has been going on, William? Oh, so why don't you tell us about your adventures? William, first of all, recently...
I got a Twitter, banger tweets every other month. If you want to follow at Gondon Josh on Twitter. Yeah. Anyways.
But yeah, William's gotten on Twitter, and since then, I don't really know what to tell you. I think it's a combination of factors. So it was something to do with Twitter combined with Twitch.
It's just Twitter.
Twitter.
It's just Twitter.
I think it was Twitter plus Twitch plus Nicolette.
What was the Twitch?
Oh, well, like the VTubers and aren't they on Twitch? That's from Twitter. Well, but also other Twitch streamers and stuff, like the offline TV stuff you've gotten into.
All I watch on Twitch is Moist Critical, alright?
But it's a Twitch community. You're like into quote unquote Twitch drama now.
Am I?
Yes, you come to me all the time and are telling me about.
Anyways, that's not important. What's important is, I was on Twitter, and that's actually a thing. So I made it my goal because I've heard that you can just find like when you're on Twitter, the only thing I heard about it is you see things that you don't want to see. You get everything, no matter who you're following. So I wanted to test that by when I joined, I just followed O.J. Simpson and no one else, and I just let that guide me. And so I followed him, and then every time something pops up, I follow that person. And now I pretty much follow everyone I need to, and I don't search things. That's my rule. I can't search anything, but I can go into like lists of people who follow certain people and find everyone that I need to follow.
So everyone he follows is only got through Twitter suggestion. In other words, he hasn't searched for anyone based off of O.J. Simpson, which is a great. It's like one of those things where people go down the YouTube rabbit hole of just clicking on only letting autoplay take them where it will. William's done that with the entire platform of Twitter, which I think is a great social experiment because he's gotten from that into like all the VTubers. He's fully invested in, and he's been William has really been educating me. Like I remember the first day when I came to that kind of just realization. I just went to William like feeling like a 90-year-old man. I just was like, what's a VTube? What's a VTuber? What are those? What are those like vlogs, like vlog tubers, like vlog video, like a blog tuber? And William patiently and excruciatingly explained to me probably 4 times over what a VTuber was before I understood it. I'm still not entirely sure how it's any different than just a stream girl, but
Oh, you want me to?
No, just continue talking.
What do you want?
I'm stretching my
What do
legs.
you want? Oh, because you're pointing.
Oh,
Anyways,
I was speaking.
okay. What? Yeah. So, anyways, from O.J. Simpson, I've been on a journey, and now we're here in the present day, and in my timeline, somebody's talking about some. All right, so I see a tweet that's been it's been quote tweeted in my timeline. I'm like, what is it? And so it says, and it's by some guy, and it says, zoos calmly explain how animals can consent and give multiple reasons and evidence and proof.
You've memorized the exact wording.
And then it says, antes. And then it's in all caps, animals can't consent, and then like 5 exclamation marks. And I was like, what on earth is this talking about? And then
William showed it to me.
I slowly realized that zoo meant zoophile and antes meant people who are against
Zoophilia.
So.
And he showed it to me, and I went through the exact same process of being like, are you talking about animals like consenting to confinement? Thinking about like an actual zoo? And then I slowly also came to the horrific realization that William had, and I was like, what?
And so I was like, ah, it's a real person.
Real thoughts.
And then I looked in the comments or replies, I guess, to the tweet, and somebody said like, they already set their Twitter to private, the cowards and afraid of discussion. So I was like, okay, and so I hit request to follow this Zoophile, and like a few days later, in my timeline, I completely forgot about it by then, and then in my timeline, I just found it just said, open Discord for anyone who wants to discuss. I don't want to think about the rest of it, but anyways, they described it in depth, and then I was like, why is this here? Because most of the time when I get something like that promoting Discord, it's like on the little advertisements that say promoted at the bottom, and I was just hoping that this was not being promoted by Twitter. So I checked and it didn't say promoted, and I was like, why is this here? And I looked at the person who retweeted it, and I was like, oh my god, they let me follow them. They accepted the request, and so out of course I joined the Discord server.
Of course he did, yeah.
It's too good of an opportunity to not.
I fully endorsed it.
More, So I did join, and man.
And now you're deep undercover, aren't you?
So difficult. It's like, man, you need to be an expert.
That's right, you're all in. They didn't just let you in for.
No, they did not. And I'm like the only person that they trust. It's so weird.
You're the one. Yeah, I feel like you're the only one I can trust.
Like the person who owns it is called Sheep, and anyway, and so every now and again I'll get a DM, and they're like, I feel like this guy might be a bit suspicious. They're talking about animal dicks too much, and that's like the cue that they're suspicious.
That's the kicker.
Every real zoophile knows that being a zoophile is not just about the animal dick; it's about the animal personality. And I've come to learn that very quickly because of the first like 5 people that got banned. I'm so like I really feel like every single person on there except for Sheep, who is the leader, is just
is undercover like you.
Undercover.
The only unironic zoo is
really
the leader.
But then when I think about it, I'm like, I'm the only real one. I'm like, no, I'm not. Wait.
That's how they get you, William. I'm pretty sure that's how a majority of people become part of any of these lollies, zoos, furries, and everything. They join as a joke. Trump supporters. They start as a joke, and it's just like a cult mentality. But William, I trust you. I trust you to be pure and strong.
That's good. And so I'm deep in it, and I can spot Nancy from.
Yeah. Didn't you tell me you outed?
I did out one, and I was like, it was like Death Note, man. I was so like.
I was gonna say.
Analyzing everything they were saying, and I was like, there's so much evidence it doesn't line up. And I set a trap. I was like, you want to roleplay, and they said sure, and so we roleplayed, and. Anyway, so I deduced that they were in fact.
Did you have screenshots as evidence?
No,
you go to the head honcho.
No, I didn't. I just discussed it with Sheep, and they're like, yeah, I've been pretty suspicious of them for a while too. And so we put them in the private channel on the Discord called
That's so awful.
Anti-Hell, and that's where the antis go before they're banned. And so I sit them there, and then
To
he's
think
actually
about
allowed
their
me
sins.
to see that channel, which nobody else can do other than me and him. So, you know.
Jesus.
Anyway, so and basically there's like a few other people in there, and he goes, I guess they found out, and I was like, got him, boom. It's man, I felt so proud, and you know what? It is like Death Note. I'm finding the me.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say it's like, and William, the worst thing is if it actually turns out to be just like Death Note, and this whole time Sheep is like L and is like, I'm 12% certain that
Yeah.
you're an anti, but he's too good to not have on the task force.
Because I know exactly. I know exactly how to find them because it's exactly the things that I would be saying now, and I learned from that to act more convincing.
It's gonna come down to be like, it's gonna be just like the task force. It's gonna be you and Sheep and like 4 other people, and it's gonna come down to and Sheep's gonna like DM you, and he's gonna be like, you know, I've been thinking you're an anti lately, and I really hope that you aren't, because I think you might be my only friend, and you'll have to kill him.
And then I ban them.
As soon as
real social media, I report them to the police.
yeah, that's what it gets to. That's what you have
That's
to
what I'm
wait
waiting for. Until I get deep enough into it that I get to get to the personal information, and then I report them. No, I would never do that. They're actually really nice people. Believe it or not, and they have like their own like rules in that. I've learned a lot.
That's the other way this goes. You actually get convinced. What's that like? Oh God, what's that where you? It's like Stockholm syndrome, where you that totally happened in a movie too, where they just started, yeah, race traitor. You're like, oh my God, you're like Jews or like the blacks. You're like the Sam Jackson and
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, that's what you're like. You're like, I knew I was thinking. You're like the old man fuck from Avatar: Last Airbender in the Earth Kingdom town who outed the Earthbender to the Fire Nation. You totally, yeah. The antis came to save you, and you turned around and reported them to the authorities.
Anyways, so man.
But it's okay if you're doing it for a noble cause.
Anyways, so I man, it's just getting more sad than gross. Honestly, at this point, I just feel bad for them because they talk about it and it's like, yeah, I'm just unable to form real connections with any humans, and it's like these are just really terribly antisocial people who can only find relationships.
Instead of masturbating, they've decided to go find.
The animals are the only ones who can't. They can't like hurt emotionally or accidentally say the wrong thing or slip up and talk about their troubles. And I'm like, man, I don't sympathize for you at all.
This might be worse than a little bit worse than just having imaginary friends as an adult.
It's
actually a good bit.
Really sad.
Yeah, it makes me want people to turn back to waifus, actually. Give these people some body pillows.
Honestly.
I actually am having trouble figuring out which is worse now. People who like people who start like dating and fucking their body pillows or their dog. What do you think is worse? The big questions. That's the hypothetical.
Do you know that they actually this is like a consensus throughout the whole thing?
Yeah.
That everybody thinks zebras are better than horses, and they're all too afraid to admit it in public until one person went out and said it. Like, you think zebras are better than horses? And everybody was like, really? Is it not
I'm
just me?
tired of pretending. Yeah,
like,
you got to see that character growth from these people.
Yeah, I mean,
how big is this server? How many people?
It's rapidly growing.
Wow.
It was so small when I first joined. I was one of the first.
Good.
People.
That's why they trust you. Yeah. Of the first 4 people, how many are still with it?
Well, one of them was banned. I found out that they were an anti.
So one of them was an anti.
One of them was the person who
started
tweeted it, and who I followed.
Oh my God! So the original tweeter.
Yeah, the original tweeter who
and the leader.
introduced me to this community.
So it's just you. So it's just the 2 of them. Like you.
Those 3.
You're the 3 only real ones. I mean, I guess of the other people who joined, some of them could be. But like, yeah, of course they're gonna trust you. Because a quarter of the founding fathers.
When I first joined, they didn't believe me because I didn't know that you're not supposed to touch the tip of a dog's penis. One of the questions was, what part of the dog's erect penis should you never touch? And I was like, what? And
It's a test.
yeah,
It's
it
an
was.
entry
And I
exam.
was like, I don't really know. I never researched that. And they're like,
Why didn't you look it
if
up?
you are a zoo,
You
you're just not safe enough.
You could have.
I don't know. We'll have to
You
only.
just.
And
Yeah,
I
you
was
could
like,
injure a
no,
dog.
'cause I did research it. I like my last minute Google search and they're like, you're on the clock, bud. And I was like, I can't search fast enough. And I was like going through all the zoo forums because obviously this isn't publicly accessible information.
Is it not?
No, it's not. I searched it up and I couldn't find it anywhere. So I had to go. My final last ditch effort was I went to the guy's Twitter to check through if they saw anything. Couldn't find it. And then he was like, no, time's up. Sorry, you're gonna have to be an anti-hal for a bit. And then the whole server got restarted. And then he just
Forgot about the whole thing.
well, and then I was in there, and then I started talking there because I guess he forgot to leave me because like when you restart the server, he forgot to give me the role where I can't see anything, and I started talking, and then I guess he just started to trust me, and now
Expert maneuvering.
yeah.
You tread lightly. Here we are.
And yeah, now we're here, and the server has like over 20 members, and whenever they come in hordes, that's one thing I learned. They come in hordes, they're all antis.
That makes sense. Yes, it gets tweeted around and it gets circulated around. They think they can get one over, and you think
I almost fell into that trap.
think the zoos are
I was
pushovers.
too smart, you know. I am when I first joined it, I told some of my friends about it. Of course, obviously, I was like, man, look at this banger tweet, and then I sent the zoo tweet about the Discord server, and they're like, ooh, can I join? And I was like, oh, that'd be funny. And I was like, no. I was like, well, what about the thing where you have to explain why you're there? And they're like, oh, I'll just tell them that a friend told me. I was like, what friend? And they're like, I guess I could just make one up. And I was like, that's not gonna work. Of course I just sent a tweet because they know I'm following that person.
Of course.
So it wouldn't be suspicious. But if somebody else did, they didn't have Twitters. And if you make a new Twitter just to follow that person, just so you can join the thing, so you can use that as proof of how you found the server, then they're going to be suspicious because it tells you whenever somebody joins.
Right.
And if they joined one day before, it wouldn't work. And I was like,
yeah, you know better.
Would be if somebody else told them, and if I told them, I would immediately be suspicious. And so I was just like, sorry, man,
it's a dangerous game.
Like, I can't let you join. And then that's why I'm alone there. But a lot of people did not. And it's like, it's so weird. I'm at the point where it's like, whenever there's antis, I'm like upset about it. I'm like, man, I can't, how could you live with yourself being as an anti?
You
What's wrong with you?
fakes and liars.
Disgusting. And I was like, wait a minute.
Oh my God, you're actually Sam Jackson from Django Unchained.
What?
Sam Jackson's character. He's the Candy's black butler
Who's black?
who hated blacks. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess so.
He's like all disgusted at black people having status and stuff. You're actually that.
Tapping into those little divots in my skull.
There's two ways this ends. Either you bring down the whole operation from the inside, become a hero to the world, or you end up becoming one of them.
Charles, that was the plan originally, but man.
Now you don't even want to get rid of them, do you?
I don't want to get rid of them. I just want to leave. It's too scary.
You're too far in to get out.
I know.
I remember William was telling me, you were telling me about like how they've got morals, right?
They sure do. They have some people that they exclude from their. So basically, the rules are.
Ben Shapiro.
What?
Has Ben Shapiro excluded? He said some people.
So basically, the rules is that if you're a zoo who apparently there are zoos that believe animals cannot consent. They don't even try to say that animals can consent, and they say it doesn't matter. Who are they gonna tell? Who cares? I want to. I'll do it.
What? People think that?
I know.
There are people out there who think animals can't consent and fuck them anyways.
It's insane. It's insane. How could you live with yourself?
And here I was, thinking that the antis were the unreasonable ones.
So those people are excluded from the one true cult. Anyways, so those people are excluded from the group, and
The group.
they're not accepted.
The tribe.
The zoo group and the zoo servers, and as far as I'm aware, this is actually the only Discord server for zoos. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm one of the founding fathers because everybody else talks on like there's like some different websites. There's one called Zoophile, which is where most of them are. There's one called I love animalporn.net. Anyways, so there's a few forums and servers that people talk on, but this is the first Discord server. I was there for its beginning.
I think where this started was, remember, I think we looked up a horse cock to see how it was supposed to look.
That was the first time I learned that.
We were, both of us,
easily
astonished how quickly porn came up on just Google Images.
Charles,
It's hidden.
Yeah?
It's over there.
Good,
It's under the something.
Okay, so...
It's under, I think, the Invisalign elastics.
Oh. What?
Is it not there?
Oh.
We'll have a picture of this, of course.
Man.
William's
Yeah,
magnum opus of
I was quite impressed
sculpting.
with this.
I am too.
So I was just sculpting...
And you wanted a reference to make sure it looked right, you know?
Yeah, I was sculpting a horse cock.
And it looks pretty good. It's honestly, it's a work of art. Here, I'm going to put it on my
'cause
desk.
I had like a soft eraser, which are like erasers you can mold to be like finer points or whatever. And I had one of those, and I put a toothpick in it to support because I made it have like a really long nose. But then the toothpick bit came off, and so I just tried to turn it into a penis because, you know.
As you do, yeah. No, that's completely
And then
understandable.
I realized it was looking a bit long, so I was like, oh, you know, it'd be funny if I made it a horse. And then I was like, I don't really remember what a horse penis looks like.
Yeah, he accidentally made a dog dick as well.
Yeah,
that's the first
I
thing.
was more familiar with. Just saying. Anyways, so yeah, no, and so no, it's better now, but yeah, and so we were like, I showed it to Charles, and he was kind of confused.
I was like not impressed.
Yeah, he was.
So we went and looked it up to have a better reference. And like
what it was supposed to look like, and like the third result on Google
was like zoo porn, and it's like,
was just a woman
isn't that illegal?
horse, and I was like,
I'm pretty sure that's
I don't think
pretty sure
I
that's
don't think we
illegal.
can do that. And
Bizarre.
yeah,
That was kind of what. Yeah,
that's not really related to how I got there in Twitter.
I was
But that
shocked.
was the first time I learned that it was a real thing that people did.
That was
I
what
thought
got
it was a
him-
legend.
That was when he was introduced to the culture.
I thought it was just like a joke calling people goat fuckers. I didn't know there were actually people who thought goats were cute. This sheep guy, actually, there girl. This sheep girl, really man, they have like you can have like your roles in Discord, and there's different ones for animals. Well, not the animals, but the types of animals. So there's like the I don't know how to pronounce any of them, but there's canines,
Canids, equestrians.
Yeah, canids. Sure, that's how you pronounce it, I guess. And then feline.
Yeah.
And then
Dragon. No, that's furries.
there's no.
I'm
dragons
kidding.
aren't real, you idiot.
I know, that's
You
furries. I was
stupid.
joking. What else do people like?
I lost my train of thought.
Oh.
How could you say that? And then there's like the sea creatures. I don't know what those are called.
Like octopus?
No, not
But
like
it-
octopus. That's dangerous. Bro.
But it would be so good.
No.
Tentacles. It's already a thing.
Yeah, but
The Japanese were all about it.
not the real one.
There's
'cause they
Japanese
have the,
tentacle
like-
hentai from like the 16th century. It's crazy.
Yeah, I know all about it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, they actually. I'm sure everybody knows this. This is common knowledge.
You're probably right.
Everybody except for Charles.
What?
But they actually did tentacles originally to get around Japan's laws.
Oh,
on,
yeah,
like,
no, you
on
told me
drawing
this.
porn, which
No,
was
but that's what I'm saying.
many penises.
Well, how long has that law been? I'm talking about ancient Japanese art.
That was Charles. Here, actually, I was one of the things I was going to talk about was the things that I have open on my computer right now, and one of them is, well, it just says it's.
I should go
CH
incognito for this.
on there, and it stands for Celebrate Hentai, and so basically it's like a. Anyways, so here's the here I'll show you the here's the timeline, hentai history, the emergence. That's a funny word that you could use there. Anyways, so this is from the year 704.
Yeah. Is that from the ban as well?
Shunga.
Was it banned from the year 704?
No.
Well, then that's what I'm
this is when
talking about.
porn was just originally started happening in Japan, and then
They've been horny for millennia.
Yeah, that's true. And so, oh yeah, so then all forms of erotic literature were seized in 1842.
I
Law
found
was
this first
drafted
from
saying any
Wikipedia.
person who distributes or possesses it, a drawing
I don't want to see
or
the picture.
object would be punished by imprisonment with work. Okay, and then so now that what are they gonna do? They can't have it anymore, and then some genius found a way to get past it, which was tentacles and small sensor bars. So
This is.
it was
Oh my god.
what?
This is from 1814.
Yeah.
This is wood block erotica.
Yeah.
Someone had to
I'm
carve
telling
this
you.
out
No, it's been around forever.
and ink and print it. 3-volume book of Shunga erotica. I mean, oh my god.
Yep, and then in 1945, I guess 1941 to 45, the Japan surrendered during the Pacific War, and it was finally free. They were finally free again, and that began this.
Yeah, that's where we're at now. What?
Well, no, and there's actually one more thing.
I'm not gonna get into the Japan thing again.
Well, now we're down to yeah, and then we have Ghost in the Shell over here.
Not this episode,
An
but
example of now it's just everywhere.
bizarre, just unbelievable.
Pop culture here. There's a whole section on that. Hentai and pop culture.
Great.
Project Melody's on there. Great.
No, that seems appropriate at this point.
Skateboards with hentai on them.
Okay.
There's hentai music. They have a nice playlist right here on Spotify.
Hey, look here, William. I have listened to the Hentai Terms podcast, so I
Oh,
think
yeah.
I'm a little
There's
bit more knowledgeable than you.
Pink Guys, I Love Sex music video.
We're getting off track though.
Yeah,
This
right.
you're talking about the zoos.
I can open up this
But
one.
you're telling me about how they have standards like they won't fuck animals smaller than them.
Yep. Well, not smaller than them, but small enough to restrain.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. I guess a dog is technically smaller. Can be smaller than a person.
Yeah.
Well,
They're like they're hounds.
but okay.
But what if it was like a Shaquille O'Neal? He would be bigger than the dog.
Well then he could also restrain the dog more easily. So shouldn't
You're right.
each individual person have to find an animal that's their size or larger? I'm glad but there was something else you told me, and
Here's at 5:08 p.m. today, yesterday actually. Sheep says, almost got caught with the dog. Family came home while we were knotted. Luckily he wasn't swelled too much. And then the response is, oh, jeez, glad nothing happened.
yeah, best wishes. How old is she? Oh my god.
Good question. I don't know. Their roles are currently Ba and she, her.
Man, I think I have to actually apologize to the audience for what you just read.
And then they sent this this nice picture right here. You may be thinking, oh Jeebs, somebody help, that guy is drowning. Fear not, he uses his gills to breathe underwater.
Was that supposed to be?
I've never run so fast in my life. OMG. And then we have zany Zoo memes over here.
Oh.
They do have a channel called Dumb Things Aunties Say, and it really makes me lose faith in a lot, because it's because then when you read most of these, it's like these people, it should not be difficult to explain to a zoo why they are wrong, but these people somehow are really, really bad at it, and now they're being made fun of, and now
And you can't help but agree with them.
like this person here called Bread Doggy says, I hate blacks and zoophiles. And,
yeah, that really ruins the whole argument right there. Honestly, if I was a zoophile, I couldn't blame him for seeing that and being like, I guess I'm in the right now.
yeah. Dr. Kikeslayer says, bro, just kill yourself. You're
Dr.
clearly,
Kikeslayer.
you're
Oh
clearly
man.
damaged beyond belief and will be incapable of holding normal interpersonal relationships with other human beings. Who would want you after knowing you carry this sickness? You're destined to be to lead a life of agony and despair. End it now.
I mean, just listening to what the other things that these people are like. I mean, clearly these are targeted, right? When they're saying dumb things, say they're picking people like someone with a name like, what was it, Dr. Kikeslayer? I mean, obviously this guy's a piece of shit human, no matter what. But
Another person, I blacks and
yeah, I hate blacks, so he hates blacks, he hates gays. I mean,
and then this person over here has actually
it just goes to show you, man.
Mario as their profile picture, and it's fuck you Nintendo is their name on Twitter. No, I'll not give out their at. Anyway.
You don't want to dox
So they
them.
say, if you fuck an animal, that is not okay. That is against the law. No species in the world does that. It also create a lot of new types of animals.
Yeah, right. They were good.
Have that
They were right there up until that point. Like, what the fuck?
That is why bestiality is not okay.
That is insane. You totally had it. They were absolutely right.
You're gonna make furries real.
I mean, come on, people. This is proof, though, of like the enemy's enemy. Enemy's enemy is not necessarily your friend. I mean, Jesus, it's hard. William, to be fair, we already were aware of this. This is just more evidence for it. It's hard to be sensible in the modern day and age.
Yeah.
It's a struggle. I remember now what you were saying, though. You were telling me about all this, about how a lot of the zoos on there, the whole thing was like they're incapable of forming and maintaining relationships with humans. And I was like, oh, wait, that actually makes a lot of sense. And I just was thinking, I've always been a huge advocate. And this is the only thing, William, you for the first time in my life have made me stop and pause and think, maybe everyone shouldn't have mental health dogs. I always thought, man, global therapy dog or like universal therapy dogs as part of universal healthcare, mental health therapy dogs or therapy animals, dog, or if you're a cat person, like that's something I'd pay taxes for. And now, William, you're making me think, what if that's not what if
That's not right.
There's unintended consequences to every idea, the best intentions. It's really something.
They do seem to have the animal's best intentions in their mind. Like they were talking about, like different things that they would do just specifically for the animal's pleasure.
Yeah.
That would not benefit them at all.
Well, of course, if you remember, we're returning. William. Right now we're returning to a previous topic where we talked about dolphin fucking. And from that copy pasta, that was all about pleasuring the dolphin. It's a very,
Not about yourself.
Of course, it's a selfless act. They're good Samaritans. I'm not even gonna doubt that most animals, in a lot of cases, animals, especially abiding by these rules, if it's large enough, and they probably don't mind the experience. They probably even enjoy it because they're animals. If they're in heat, anyways, that the whole point is they're supposed to fuck something.
Cetaceans, that's what the water ones are called.
Cetacean. Yeah, okay, that sounds right. I don't even doubt that there's like honestly plenty of things going for like it being what I keep comparing it to is cannibalism, right? Cannibalism is just something that we're not allowed to do. Even if you give consent, you can even give consent for cannibalism, and I think it's still illegal.
Yeah.
And honestly, in a lot of cases, I'm like, why shouldn't it be legal? Like, again, if the person gives consent for you to eat their dead corpse, and you wanted to try human, what's the point? What difference does it make if it's allowed or not? Like, no one's getting hurt. But I'm still not gonna do it because it's illegal and because it is against nature. It's the same thing with fucking dogs. Just like cannibalism. Ain't that a bitch?